My name's Jason Schuster. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I own Intricate Art Spine and Body Solutions. It's a continuing education company teaching other doctors how to do a couple things. Before that, I was a fly fishing guide in Patagonia, Chile, and southwestern Alaska for a decade. This is a clip from our online dry needling 2 class, Dry Needling to Improve Men's and Women's Pelvic Health. This is a great class. Check it out on our website, intricateartseminars.com, to get the full 10 CEU fully online class. Just to reiterate, because this is an insane number, I always tell people, if you wanted to start a cash pay dry needling business in any major US city in the country, you could do it just on erectile dysfunction, start tomorrow, and be packed within short order, you guys. This is a super easy thing to fix. And if you just talk to people about it in a normal way, it's way easier to get people to want to get treatment for this stuff than you would think. They've just never been spoken to by any medical practitioner in any coherent, reasonable manner about this stuff. So everybody just thinks it's like weird, unfixable stuff. And it's not. It's totally treatable. So just to reiterate, at the age of 40, about 40% of guys suffer some type of ED. Most studies say that every decade after 40, it goes up 10%. So 50% of 50-year-olds, 60% of 60-year-olds. That's hundreds of millions of people all over the world. It's over 100 million people probably in the United States, you guys, or somewhere close to 100 million people just in the US. So this is a huge area of treatment that is basically totally untapped, and it's totally fixable. It's really easy to treat. So like we mentioned, if you read the literature, typically only the bulbospongiosis and ischiocavernosus are spoken about, because they do attach to the base of the penis and they help maintain and get an erection, but they're not the underlying thing that causes it. And really, those muscles are hardly ever like structurally damaged or anything, unless you got like kicked in the nuts playing sports or something like that. Aside from that, you guys, the muscles themselves aren't the problem. It's the nervous system that's the problem, that's causing the muscles to be tight. So those are important muscles to treat, but they absolutely are not the only muscles that we need to treat. What we need to do primarily is think about, okay, how can we improve homeostasis to the point where the normal blood flow dynamics start to happen throughout the body, even in the more parasympathetic areas, which would be the pelvic floor. So the more we increase homeostasis, the more normalized, the better off we make blood flow. We start softening those muscles up. The muscles get softer. More blood can go into the muscles. They can close those veins off easier, and it's easier to maintain an erection. This is a very easy way to fix people. And you guys, once you get this to go away, a lot of people will require treatment maybe like once a month or once every couple of months, but they won't have to take ED pills every time they want to have sex, which is a huge benefit. Physically, psychologically, there's just so many things about that is good to not have to do that. So again, unless there is an underlying structural pathology, which you definitely get patients with prostate cancer. That would be one thing that I would not be nearly as sure. I would say, let's try it. Let's see what happens. If anything's going to help, this needling treatment will help. That would be like an underlying, like structural thing. I would consider prostate cancer, enlarged prostate, all that type of thing. Torn muscles, severed nerves, things like that. Unless there's something like that, dry needling is, especially if you combine it with nutritional education, you guys, and some lifestyle changes, fixing erectile dysfunction is super duper easy, right? So Viagra and Cialis, they work specifically on nitrous oxide pathways. So they act on the nitrous oxide pathways that temporarily increases vasodilation, allows the more blood to go into the genitals. It allows that internal pressure to accumulate inside the penis, and it takes those vein valves and it squishes them shut, and that allows for an erection. The science behind this is known, you guys, just like the science behind a whole lot of things is known, like for ivermectin and other pharmaceutical drugs. It's just that once the drugs don't become super profitable, the problem is either just considered to be closed and then there's no future fix for it, and then that just is how it is, or it just totally ignored, or a little bit of combination of both. But again, this is where we as physical therapists and functional medicine practitioners and other types of doctors can really step in and make a huge difference in people's lives, because these problems are fixable, you guys. Nobody should be suffering from these problems. If you present this to the public in a way that's somewhat understandable and you show them that there's an actual solution to this problem, it doesn't take much more information than that to get a huge a number of people to come and want to see you. And especially if you start fixing people and word of mouth starts to spread, you guys, which you will, especially if you take our in-person classes and you learn specifically how to actually do this stuff, it makes a tremendous difference in people's lives. It changes their mental health. It's just such an awesome thing to do. So this should be such a much bigger part of more physical therapy and other non-mainstream medical practices. It's just a really good thing to know how to do, you guys. So this works super, super well. There's lots of good studies on it. None of the studies, you guys, by the way, do the needling in the way that I would do it, or not anywhere close. And that a lot of the reason is it's just impossible to objectively study needling that way. So take that with a grain of salt. Even though there's tons and tons of literature that shows improvement, none of the literature is done in the proper way as far as the needling techniques go. So just take that with a grain of salt for what it's worth. So like we mentioned, there must be enough blood going to the genital area. So remember when we talked about the arteries, the pudendal arteries, the inferior gluteal artery, all those other arteries that go to the pelvic floor, you guys, tons and tons of those things are starting either in the sacral area, in the lumbar area. They're going through lots of other gluteal musculature. So it's a blood flow problem. And the muscles in the pelvis aren't tight because of the muscles in the pelvis, right? The brain is telling them to be tight. So just because the actual physical problem is being experienced in the pelvic floor in the form of erectile dysfunction, that doesn't mean that the problem is actually in the pelvic floor. It's just because the pelvic floor and the muscles down there are so parasympathetically dominant that is the area where the first visible problems of long-term chronic sympathetic hyperactivity take place in a lot of people, right? So it's not that the muscles are broken or anything. It's not that the brain has forgotten how to get an erection or anything like that. It's just a super dysregulated, tilted seesaw of the autonomic nervous system. So if we can push that back towards neutral, improve blood flow, normalize tissue length, normalize neuronal firing, all that stuff, the erections will happen on their own, right? So it's not like we don't have to show the body what to do. We just have to remove the inhibition that's stopping the body from doing its normal natural things. And remember, you guys, the overall effect of needling, basically no matter how you do it, is sympathetic depression and parasympathetic elevation compared to baseline, or more parasympathetic dominant nervous system compared to baseline, which is the exact direction we need to push all patients with erectile dysfunction, right? The more sympathetic hyperactivity you have, the more inhibited those pelvic floor muscles are going to be, the harder the time it is for guys to be able to get an erection. Here is a good little diagram, you guys, of kind of all the different little processes that are taking place to have an erection. This is obviously not super important to know all this stuff and the different nerve plexuses and stuff like that, but it's a good little diagram of all the different things involved and showing the brain there, right, you guys? So obviously, like we mentioned, muscles don't make themselves contract. If there's no signal from the brain, the muscles are dead, right? There's no trigger points in dead people. You can get manipulations under anesthesia when you're knocked out because your brain is turned off. So this is just another good example of why you need to think about treating erectile dysfunction just like I think about dry needling when I'm treating any other condition. Is dry needling is a brain treatment and an autonomic nervous system treatment. We're just using the soft tissues and the rest of the body as a means of accessing different areas of the brain to change the brain, so then the brain can change the muscles. That is how you improve erectile dysfunction. It's not by specifically improving the muscles in the pelvis. It's by improving the nervous system in the brain so the brain can improve the function of the muscles in the pelvis. So we don't need to go over the little blurb on the left there, you guys, but that's the little blurb for that diagram there. You guys can read through that, all the different little areas. That's some of what we think we understand about how all this stuff works here. There's some misspellings, or this may have been from a different language in the diagram there, but that's a pretty good general, like overall view of some of the stuff that's going on. Here's another one, you guys. This one, there's tons of different chemicals and molecules and stuff listed in there. The two I think that are the most important for us to think about, at least, if you see in the little yellow box there, we got calcium and nitrous oxide. So nitrous oxide again is the pathway that Viagra and Cialis is working on. Dry needling also works on that pathway through regulating the nervous system. Calcium there, you guys. So one of the problems with chronic sympathetic autonomic hyperactivity is so if we're talking about a sarcomere, and by the way, I'm making a class right now on the third protein in sarcomeres called the titin protein. It's the biggest protein in the human body. You guys don't want to miss that class. That's going to be coming out soon, so check that out. But as far as calcium goes, if you're talking about a sarcomere, for normal muscle contraction, a couple of things need to happen. There's a bunch of things, but a couple of primary things. Acetylcholine needs to go from presynaptic to postsynaptic cleft. The acetylcholine starts the sodium-potassium pump. The sodium-potassium pump starts changing the muscle cell polarization. Inside the muscle cell, calcium gets released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum inside the cell to more inside the cell. Calcium then binds with troponin C. That moves tropomyosin out of the way. Actin and myosin and the titin protein can overlap and wind around each other, and that causes the muscle to contract. For normal relaxation, acetylcholine esterase needs to gobble up the acetylcholine. The calcium needs to get put back into the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and then muscle relaxation can occur through a couple of other steps. There's acetylcholine esterase in there and stuff like that. One of the problems with chronic sympathetic hyperactivity is there's way too much intracellular calcium that's floating around, which causes chronic muscle contraction and a chemical contraction. So calcium in and of itself can cause a sarcomere to contract, you guys. So too much calcium comes with too much sympathetic hyperactivity, which messes up the nitrous oxide pathways. That causes vasoconstriction, causes decrease in blood flow, muscle hypoxia, muscle rigidity, and it causes big problems with an erection, right? So that is another blurb there. You guys can read that blurb. That's just another thing about all the different neurophysiologic molecules and stuff and processes that are going on. The underlying thing to remember is that erection is a blood flow problem. Dry needling, one of the most objective things we know about dry needling is it massively increases blood flow through normalizing the nervous system. The most objective things that we know about needling, you guys, are the things that we need to do to improve and fix erectile dysfunction. So again, this is not a challenging thing to fix. You just have to understand why it's happening in the first place. And then again, if you really, really want to make this process and fix this stuff as fast as possible, you guys, you need to add in nutrition education. I have a great nutrition series. It's a 5-course series on nutrition, fully online. You can check that out on our school channel and on our website, intricateartseminars.com and school.com/CEU, SKOOL.com/CEU. So if enough blood doesn't get into the penis, or if there's like somewhat enough blood, you guys, that's when you can get an erection, and then the erection will go away, right? So you need to be able to maintain enough blood flow, and the muscles need to be soft and of a normal length and supple enough to be able to swell with blood. So you could have enough blood flow, but if the muscles are too chronically hypoxic and rigid, they can't swell with blood enough. Because again, remember, the vein valves are typically like this. If this was a vein valve somewhere in my pelvic area, this is how the valves would be. So they can go up to my heart. The muscles need to contract around the veins. They kind of milk the veins and they push the blood up to the heart. So normally the valves can open and then they shut when blood tries to go back. And then when the muscles contract, it pushes it farther up and then they close again. If the muscles are chronically tight, and this happens not only in the penis, you guys, in the genital area, but all over the body. If the muscles are chronically tight and hypoxic, they kind of push those vein valves partially open, and then they can't swell with blood anymore. So it's just the mechanical dynamics that need to happen to accomplish the pressure needed to push those vein valves shut. It just can't happen. So now there's blood going in and out of the penis, and it's not allowed to create that internal pressure that it needs to maintain an erection. So some people can get an erection and then it starts to go away because there's just not enough muscle pliability to swell with enough blood. That could be one thing. It could be just not enough blood in the first place. It's typically a combination of the two. Regardless, it's super easy to fix with dry needling, especially if you add it in with things like nutrition and lifestyle changes, but very, very easy, guys. So again, dry needling, just like most chronic diseases, impairments in the United States, is considered idiopathic or without a known cause. That's total nonsense. It's not idiopathic. It's just that if you can't fix something with a pill or with surgery, it's considered idiopathic in the United States because that's how our medical system works. It's not that it's not fixable. They just say it's not fixable. And since that is the mainstream medical reasoning and the mainstream medical treatment, most of the public thinks it's not fixable, and it's just not true. So this is a huge opportunity for people that understand this stuff to number one, help improve health. That if you improve people's health more people are going to want your help with which makes you more money, which is also a huge problem, especially in physical therapy land right now, you guys. So erectile dysfunction, great cash-based treatment. It's a great way to help people, just a great overall thing to know how to do. To go back to the nervous system itself, so if erectile dysfunction is a blood flow problem, which it is, we want to improve as much blood flow throughout as much of the body as we can, because all of our arteries and veins and our cerebral spinal fluid, like I mentioned a little while ago, it's all connected in the same fluid, the same plumbing system, you guys. So just think about it this way. Just think about it as a plumbing system. And if the pipes are all supposed to be the same size, right? And you got all the same size pipes, and then all of a sudden you take some pipes up here and you make them half the size, not only is that going to affect the fluid dynamics up here in your neck, it's going to more or less directly affect the fluid dynamics in your pelvis too, you guys. So that is one of the best examples that I can give on why it's important to treat the whole body when you're treating for all impairments, including erectile dysfunction and other pelvic health impairments, is because blood flow is a big problem. Blood needs to be flowing as normally as we can get it through as much of the body as we can to normalize the whole system. Just improving fluid dynamics in one part of the system that's all connected helps, but it doesn't help the whole system as much as you could compared to if you were treating the entire system. So the more normalization you can put on the fluid dynamics, so the more normalized muscle tissue throughout as much of the body as you can, normalizes compression on veins. That also decreases sympathetic autonomic hyperactivity, which normalizes the vasoconstriction of endothelial smooth muscle in the arteries, and it just improves everything from blood flow in the brain to blood flow in the pelvic floor area to the rest of the body, and all of these things combined help improve guys' ability to get and maintain an erection. So it's super, super important. And you guys, since so much of erectile dysfunction problems are psychosocial, and we'll talk about that in the vagus nerve slot in the vagus nerve PowerPoint a little bit. Not only are you going to be improving the erectile dysfunction problems, but at the same time, because we're focusing and treating the autonomic nervous system itself, we're going to be improving ANS homeostasis, which in and of itself improves mental health. So if mental health is a huge problem of the individual's erectile dysfunction problems, which it is for a huge percentage of people, not only are you helping erectile dysfunction through like physically changing the body, but you're also concomitantly doing it through improving mental health, even if we're not providing like specific mental health treatment, you guys, which is obviously out of the scope of practice of physical therapists. But I improve people's mental health a huge percentage all the time through regulating their autonomic nervous system, and that is the way that we're improving erectile dysfunction as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. If you like this clip, keep an eye on my channel. I'm going to keep putting clips from both of our online dry needling classes. This was a clip from our online dry needling 2 class, Dry Needling to Improve Men's and Women's Pelvic Health. Check it out on our website, intricateartseminars.com, or check out our school channel, school.com/CEU, SKOOL.com/CEU, to get a big discount on our dry needling bundle. It's a bundle of our both of our online dry needling classes for a big discount.